So hello from our side. Thank you for the warm welcome. As already said, our topic for today is driving business value through smart architecture and streaming for our installed base management at Siemens. Who are your presenters? So it's me, Kathrin Postler. I'm currently the data architect for our topic and also the data product owner at Siemens since more than 30 years and now focused on data architecture for more than 2 years.
Yeah, and the second one, that's me, Johannes. Only 10 years at Siemens so far, well, a little bit more. Started as software developer and now focusing more on the architecture part, architecture landscape, and more the general stuff. So what we want to start with is what was the need for our install base management. And for that, we have different personas asking different questions all across Siemens. So one is the service engineer, for example, who's basically asking what is there currently, what's the current release, what's the software version of the installed component I'm working on. Then this is the local use case, really, the person on site working on a product. And then more the general one, you have product managers asking what's the impact, for example, when I have a product recall. Who have I to contact? Where is it? How many have we sold? And also the service coordinator then for the engineers telling, okay, there is an issue on site. Who am I going to send? What skills do I need? What is there? And a third part is then more on the sales side. You have the sales representative, but also the global key account managers, for example, asking what has my customer bought so far and what has he currently on site. And of course, lastly, but not least, the customer directly via customer portals, for example, asking what did I buy, show me what I have, and then in extension also maybe showing the customer via the portal what can he buy in addition. And for all of that, we need iBase. But for that, what is iBase?
So, what's iBase? iBase is knowing the products and systems and also the commercial relationships to a customer and in addition where they are. So I brought a piece of or a product from Siemens. So that's just a product with a product number and in best case also a serial number to be able to identify exactly that product on a customer side. But that's just the asset or the technical information, so product number or type data and so on, but only together with the information where this product is installed, this one becomes an iBase. To have a well-maintained iBase, we need, as I said, that information, but in addition also commercial data, so connected business partners, the customer, is there a service contract assigned, and is that service contract covered this product? We have the technical data, so products, hardware, software or licenses, the bill of material. Is it a completely system, like a fire protection system where this part is part of? And of course the spatial data, so the address data of the customer, the geolocation data. Is it a building with the floor, in which room, and is it a critical infrastructure? So, do we have any challenges? Of course.
And yes, we do have a lot. So just having a quick look at some of them, of course. First of all, we currently have no centralized data integration. So we have multiple data sources. You have Excel files, as we've seen before in presentations. Excel is what keeps companies running. And that's just causing fragmentation, of course. Then the second part is functionality. So you have outdated technologies, you have applications that are 10, 15, 25 years old. And that's, of course, blocking a lot of new concepts, new ideas, and also blocking quality. Because we have incomplete data, we have poorly maintained data, and that's just also blocking any insights, any benefits you might have. Then also coming from outdated applications and technologies, you have performance issues. You have no real-time data access, also for reporting. Most tools still have a weekly export, a weekly report, so there's no real-time assets available. And also no transparency due to the missing integration, the missing centralization. You have distributed data silos. You don't have the view across the whole data set, the whole customer, but rather only single slices. And with a fragmentation, you also have no understanding. So what do we have? Are we talking about the same objects in the first place? And to go through that, we have, for the central data integration, we are consolidating assets and asset data, trying to improve the data on that, and the operational experience and excellence on that. We are using new technologies like event streaming, like Snowflake data sharing. We are building an intuitive UI on those data sets, on those technologies, to have a unified quality indicator, of course, and also have an easy way for data maintainers to improve the data quality in the first place. All that, of course, only possible with real-time access, with full text searches, with easy access, with easy possibilities to find my customer, my site, my asset. And that as a single source of truth in Siemens. So we're not talking DI, we're not talking SI, we're not talking mobility, we're talking Siemens. And of course, for the understanding, we're not talking DI, SI, and mobility, we're talking Siemens. We're talking, every division is talking about different data sets, different objects, different names. And we are aiming for a global harmonized data model to solve those issues, to talk about the same stuff. And how are we going to do that?
Of course, with smart architecture and streaming. So, as Johannes already mentioned, we have a common data model 2 years ago. It was a hard work to find that common data model so that everyone is talking about the same stuff. And for that, we decided also for the database we're using Snowflake and Data Vault, of course. And we have 3 layers, so the staging tables or the staging and landing tables, where all the source data are thrown in. Then we have our processing for consistency, so our business data vault, the data aggregation, deduplication, so all the checks, data quality checks and so on. And at the end, our information mart, or our so-called golden record storage, where we then provide the current status of the data via data views to our consumers. And how do we propose or be able to I'm missing the word.
To distribute.
Our data, to provide our data, that's the word I'm looking for. We are using or building data products, different data products. So what are data products at Siemens? That are data asset with business logic, governed by metadata and data quality, help take informed decision and give strategic insights, so it should be useful. It's findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable. Assigned to one data domain, so IBIS is assigned to the data domain service, because we are from service. It has to add business value to the consumers. There should be a data contract, so who is allowed to see the data, who is allowed to use the data, and how. And our new way of working is share unless, so it should be possible to provide the data to all the consumers at all, but it should be secure, of course. It's an audit-proof workflow for the approval for our data product and the access management, and operated by the data product team. And to be able to do that, our central IT developed a Siemens data in AI Cloud some years ago. So that's our data mesh platform ecosystem to be able to share data and streamlining data handling. And the main points of that Siemens data in AI Cloud is that there is a high availability and scalability. It's easy to share internal as well as external data. It's open and flexible. It's a data mesh architecture. Consume-based costs with Snowflake, of course, and with a high transparency, so dashboards, and you can see, okay, how much money I spent for the last workflows, for example, or jobs. It's cloud agnostic to avoid technological login effects, and it's possible to handle semi and unstructured data.
So that is our base layer, that's our backend, what we call Data Hub. And on that, we now seen what we are doing with Snowflake, what we are using Data Vault for. But of course, We are like a special Snowflake in Snowflake. We're not using that as reporting and analytics in the main use case, but rather as an operational database. So our main goal is to distribute IBIS information back to other applications in Siemens, because what's the benefit of us knowing everything and no one else can work with it? So what we did is build a decoupled integration layer on top to collect and distribute information, to have data ingress and data egress. And for that, we went to the question, what are we going to use? So why should I use APIs, for example, which is the classic approach, mature technology, to have the classic synchronous communication. We have on-demand requests, so I can search whatever I want, whenever I want. You have clear access restrictions, you have on-demand information. Who knows APIs as a classic point-to-point integration? Just hands up. Who's aware of that? Who's using that? About half the people, okay. And then the new approach, what we also had in mind was, why don't we take event streaming for that? And looking at that, what's the benefits? Event streaming, compared to the synchronous communication, has a loose coupling. So we are having more distributed and decentralized applications, even if we are aggregating data on a central one. But over the landscape, we have more decentralized environments, so we need loose coupling. If one application goes down, the whole system doesn't go down. Then you have an event-driven architecture, so you don't have to search for data. You're getting data provided, so you have a proactive data distribution. We are sharing our information rather than other applications searching for our data. And why is that necessary? Just to give an example, we are talking about 4.5 billion data sets we want to gather in that database. So if we have 4.5 billion data sets, of course, we are trying to give out information, but no one needs everything, sorry. And we're providing that everything because we have the share or less principle, which is key in this event streaming architecture, because we are sharing unless there's legal restrictions, there are security restrictions, but that's a rare case. So normally we are sharing everything with anybody, and then the consuming side can pick what they need. And with that, you have the real-time processing as well. So you're actively pushing out the information whenever it happens. And that really is the other side of the coin, basically, having a disruptive approach to the landscape, turning around the data flow and the data request. And for us, we were choosing one or the other, and at the end we said, okay, let's do both. Because there is a need for A, there is a need for B, and at the end we ended up with implementing both state-of-the-art integration solutions. So integration layer, we have at the one level, we have the event streaming based on what we are using is Confluent Kafka, which is also provided by the SDC team. There we have stream consumers and stream producers available, so you can provide us information via streaming. We are providing information via streaming as well. And the second layer is our API management, the classic approach. We're going also with Elasticsearch, as we heard earlier already. And there we also have an attachment storage, classic S3 buckets. And also the classic APIs for data provision to us, and also we are offering a lot of search APIs. And all of that is then connected to each other, but on the inbound way, for example, we're only ingressing via event streaming. So whatever comes to us, via API or streaming, that all goes through Kafka, basically. And on the outside also, everything goes to Kafka, and the search API, of course, still on demand, but we are providing Elasticsearch with all the information and then have the search API on top. And also our administration layer, as you can see on top, that's not communicating with the database directly at all, so we built a headless approach and then added an API, a UI on top. So our data quality UI is working on existing APIs that any application might use. And just to give you an example of how that might happen. So up here we have on top a field service application, field service technicians in a dispatcher, for example, working in. We have our integration layer and the data hub. So whenever a user searches an IBase, for example, the dispatcher will need to get skills out of it, all the technicians on site searching for it. The search comes through, goes to our API, a synchronous search. We are executing the search on the back end and then pushing the information back out. And for that, that's a classic approach. Basically, everybody knows I want to get data, I'm requesting, I'm getting it done. But what we are offering in the second step is then the user can register the iBase ID back to us. So it's, again, using APIs. The user is sending us, okay, I've saved that iBase under ID ABC, and we are saving that on our side for the future, for the field service application. And then whenever another application come in, for example, from a customer portal, the user himself, the customer himself logs in, changes something, this is communicated to us via the classic ingress APIs, processed on our side, and then we can proactively, via event streaming, inform the field service application about it. So they don't have to poll every day, every week or something, have batch exports, or Excel in the worst case, but rather we are informing them, hey, the iBase you got, there's a new update for it. And here's the information, you don't have to call us again, here's everything you need, you can store it, show it to the user, you're up to date. And that really is the combination and the benefit of using both sides of the coin at the end. So the question at the end is, have we accomplished our challenges?
We would say yes. So with our tool or our solution, we show that the smart architecture and a common data model enables our business to gather value, also by leveraging AI at the end, of course, and automation. So we try, or the plan is to collect more than 150 data producers, could be our factory data directly out of the factory, service solution and system data, commercial data like service contract, as I already mentioned, and as well also customer portal, so data directly from the customer. In our database or in Snowflake, we shape the data, doing data cleansing. We have Siemens Data Cloud. We have a common and aligned data model, which is valid for whole Siemens now. And we have the possibility to do also manual corrections by our UI. And at the end, we share that information with round about 50 consuming applications from different data domains, from different applications. So from sales and service, I think that will be the most benefits for sales and service. We have also project management and also reporting and analytic use cases. And of course, we also want to show the customer what he bought from Siemens.
So, and with that, thank you for your attention.